This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Morning decisions. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
Honestly, if you try to get me to share my career highlights, I'll usually shy away and share minor moments, like emceeing shows at Rogers Arena or meeting someone or that sort of thing. Because otherwise, it feels like I'm bragging. With the shit that I've done, super lucky, fortunate for my radio career, first off, and this podcast, like so many things worth highlighting, right? Like doing world album premieres with Metallica, Nickelback, Velvet Revolver, co-hosting like 5 or 6 full 3-hour-long afternoon shows with Chris Cornell, or Slipknot's Corey Taylor coming in and co-hosting. I did 3 weeks of radio with J-Rock from the Trailer Park Boys, flying to Dublin, Ireland to do my radio show from the Jameson Whiskey Distillery on St. Patrick's Day. So many trips with listeners to see shows down in LA and San Francisco and Toronto, literally being backstage with Name the Band, drinking their beers and hanging out, like Foo Fighters and Chili Peppers and Linkin Park. I almost did 20 years of radio in Canada, 15 at Vancouver's biggest rock station, 99.3 The Fox. I did their afternoon show for, I think it was close to 12 years, and I did a show called the 6 o'clock Rock Report. So if bands were in the city playing somewhere, 9 times out of 10, they were coming in and doing my show to promote what they were doing. And it's podcasts like this where I don't mind diving into that vault to share some stories with you, because this week is all about career highlights. And you will hear from 9 guests, 3 in sports, a personal trainer, a retired NHL center, and a Canadian National Olympic curler. 3 in entertainment, a legend in Canadian broadcasting, a dating coach, and the Walking Dead actor. And you'll hear this week's 3 musical guests in just a second. One of metal's best bassists. We have a husband-wife duo, and the drummer of one of rock's best live bands. My name is Todd Hancock. Appreciate you jumping on and checking us out, or maybe you're a repeat offender, which we do have a lot of. Regardless, beauty. It's nice to have you along. And shortly, like we're talking less than 10 minutes, we'll get into Stop Me If You've Heard This Before. Fitness trainer and our personal fitness guru here on the podcast, Jessica Kiernan, talks about dedicating her life to fitness and all that entails and how you can get fit. That is powered by 3-year sponsor FKP MMA. Learn self-defense and build your self-esteem. That's beauty. Learn how to protect yourself, your family, your loved ones. My youngest Levi goes a couple times a week and absolutely loves it. Chances are you will too. You know, I saw something the other day where Dana White, the UFC president, was talking about once you get into MMA, you love it so much you never want to stop. Vancouver's #1 training destination, fkpmma.com. First, let's get to some career highlights from this week's musical guests, all of whom are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Corey, the owner, is just an absolute gem of a human being. He's a been there, done that kind of guy. He was in a Vancouver band called the Ghost of Blood Alley back in the day when I was on CFox playing their show, his band on the show Indie Night in Canada. I think he's got over 20 years experience in the industry, and you can use their state-of-the-art studio. It's commercial sound, basically, on an indie budget. You can check them out through the HawkinsSoundRanch.com. So when you start talking about metal, of course, the big 4 comes to mind. Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth. All four bands have had incredible success to varying degrees. A former Megadeth bassist, David Ellefson, has been a guest. Over 50 million albums sold worldwide, 12 Grammy nominations. They won for the best metal performance for their song Dystopia in 2017. I love that David brought up the Rust in Peace, the 20th anniversary tour that they did.
I get it. When we did the Rust in Peace 20th anniversary, we in the late 90s, we did an auction and we sold off a ton of our gear that we had because we just had a bunch of it and it served us no more purpose. And so we sold off like the Peace Sells backdrop. We sold off the Rust in Peace backdrop, and Dave had stayed in touch with, or he knew, or someone in our organization knew the girl who bought it up in Hollywood. So when we did the tour, we got that backdrop back from her and we actually used it. Eventually it started to shred and fall apart, so we had to have a new one made. And, that's why I went, I made sure I had Jackson guitars, the Harkey amps, the, stretch jeans, the same wristbands, because I get it. I mean, when I went to, me and Marty Friedman were second row dead center when Kiss did the 1996, the reunion tour, right? Okay. And because we have a friend at the arena in Phoenix, Marty lived there at the time. So we went down and we were second row, like a couple of kids. And part of you, okay, now we're older and we're professionals and we know how Kiss does this, so there's a part of you that you're taking you back, Kiss, it was basically the Kiss Alive 2 costumes. And so part of you just goes back to, again, I'm 14 years old, Kiss Alive 2 just came out. I'm just remembering the emotions of that. There they are, they're freaking 20 feet from us. And yet at the same time, I'm going, oh yeah, the guitar tech's over there and the monitor console, and they got the lighting. I know some of the workings behind the scenes, So when we did the Rust in Peace tour, it was important to me that our fans, whether they were, my age and they had seen the original Rust in Peace, or in a lot of cases, they were teenagers up against the barricade in the front row, coming out to see the mighty Megadeth play this legendary album that they've been hearing about, probably from their parents and their friends. And there they were. It was important to me and to us that we recreate that as close to the original feeling and the look of the stage and everything about it that we had done back in 1990 and 91 when that album came out. So, the music business is an emotion business. We're into displacing emotions and getting people out of day-to-day routines of life and taking them off down into journeys and remembering eras and parts of their life with our music. That's really what our job is, I think.
From a Grammy Award-winning bassist to a Juno Award-winning Vancouver band formed in 2012 by Drew and Danielle McTaggart, Dear Rouge, remember, they won the Breakthrough Artist Juno in 2016.
That would not be the one that I would choose for a career highlight, but it's the most tangible. So, award shows, like up to that point, I felt like we were working so hard and we had so many experiences and we got so many opportunities. But when I tell people we won the Juno, it's a tangible thing that they can relate to and the most accessible thing, because sometimes I'm like, when we toured with this band, and it depends if people care about the band or not. But the Junos is truly like, we got more than winning, we got to perform on it, and they announced us as the winners of that Juno. So it was like, it kind of just sums it up. And so it's an easy way of saying that. That's what I would say is like, it's not what the award, winning the award, it was the representation of what the award meant. And we were breaking through, we were breaking as a band, and we became a Canadian band through that process. So.
Yeah, I think it was amazing. Like I had a dream when I was a kid of doing music for a career. And in that moment, I had a flashback of that. And I was probably like 10. And I had in that moment of performing, actually more than winning, performing, I felt like that was that. Yeah. And it was really special to me. So I always be thankful to the Junos for that. Also, it's just like, anything in life, it's hard to have people say stamp you as being something, and it's not about that. Like people's view of you, it's not the most important thing. But when
it shouldn't matter.
When you have moments though where people like they recognize your hard work, it is special. And I think it's easy for people to be like, I'm cooler than that, whatever. But it isn't that. It is like just like validation of that you did do what you dreamed you should do, and you did it in some capacity, which is important, and you take that throughout your life. It's validating, and
it's a kind of a nod though. It's kind of a nod though for people who hate on award shows. It's not about the people who didn't win, but the winners actually, it does mean something. And I think just being nominated is winning, but people get caught up in the competition of it. So like I said, award shows isn't what music is about. But rarely what we do is something tangible. I would say, we got to play Skookum Stanley Park to 15,000 people, and that felt like we were playing a real show to our hometown.
That's cool.
First sold out show. Early stuff, the breaking stuff was the most important because we were like, oh my gosh. And we had a tour manager with us, and he said, Drew, you're playing a sold out show in Toronto. And he's like, you guys will sell out tons of other shows. You'll play bigger shows than this. But right now, this feels the best because you've never had it before. And so that kind of was all a part of that Juno, process. And the Juno was just that like little cherry on top. So yeah, it's kind of the breaking is all really exciting. And as we're talking to you, it's cool to remind ourselves of all this because we get to release another album and we love this album. And I hope that people really enjoy it. And I hope that it moves the needle for Dear Rouge. But if it doesn't, we are satisfied with what we created.
And we'll take you from a Juno award-winning band to Steel Panther, arguably Los Angeles' best live rock band. If you've never seen these guys live, it is a spectacle, just a ton of fun, great musicians, all in all, it's a wicked time. So listen to Panther drummer Stix Zadinia talking about playing at Donington, the festival in England.
A career highlight may have been, well, there's a few. I can tell you that a defining moment in our career was when we first went over to play Download Festival at Donington.
Yeah.
In 2009. Awesome. The first time we went to play, we played in a tent, which is basically like a third stage there.
Right.
And our record had come out a week before we played. We were getting ready to go on stage, and I'm like fucking tripping, and I'm nervous. It's our first festival. And all of a sudden, we were hoping, 500 people would be there to watch us. And the tent holds about 4,000 people. And the tent is rammed. People have signs. People have, Asian hats. They have banners saying community property. Like, they knew the shit. And so the tent was rammed, and it was still 20 people deep all the way around the outside of the tent. And there was probably 7,000 people there.
Awesome.
And yeah, and man, I remember just going, holy shit, there's something spectacular happening. So that was a definite high point. And then going back to Download after that, a couple times later and playing the main stage was unbelievable. 85, 90,000 people all singing community property.
Right.
Is pretty amazing.
That is pretty awesome, dude.
Toddcast Podcast musical guest visits are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Use their 20-plus years of experience to record at their state-of-the-art studio. Commercial sound on an indie budget. Visit thehawkinssoundranch.com for more.
If it's all the time that you need, baby, I will stand here out of mind. Thoughts in a million unhealthy places, but my heart stays mind. How's it so easy for you to lie? Tell me you need me and turn around and leave me high and dry. How's it so easy for you to lie? Say that you're lonely, even though you got me by your side. How's it so easy for you to lie? How's it so easy for you to lie? Keep that in mind for the next time. Oh, the next time. Keep that in mind for the next time. Yeah. Oh, the next time.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
Over the years, you've heard fitness trainer and model Jessica Kiernan on the podcast a few times. You'll love her social media presence, lots of great advice, nutrition, meal planning, working out, that sort of thing, all the pics and videos as well. She has a 30-day fitness challenge on her website that is an absolute killer. And the last time you heard Jessica on the cast, we talked about her crush on actor Henry Cavill, the fact that she doesn't make long-term goals. We talked about gambling, the Super Bowl halftime show came up, why drinking water is so good for you, how it's hard to reach your followers on Instagram because of the algorithm. She shared the worst job that she's ever had. We did the 3 albums on a deserted island question with her, talked about Star Wars, weed, Pinky Blinders, aliens, and stop me if you've heard this before, Jessica talked about when she decided to dedicate her life to health and fitness.
I was like 15. I mean, I remember I was like 15 because I remember seeing Kiana Tom on Exercise TV.
Okay.
And I loved her. I loved her body. I loved her hair. I loved the makeup. I loved the outfits. She was a sex bomb. And she was on the beach in Hawaii with this gorgeous tan and big boobs. And she was doing the most. She was just killing it. And I tell you what, like, I loved her tips. I learned a lot of stuff from that. And then I got into it because I started reading the magazines and getting more involved and had trainers and it just went from there. It was just more like personal for me because I just knew it looked really beautiful, and I was like, that's what I want to achieve, and I just made it happen. And then as I got older, I started reading like the Zone books, and Jennifer Aniston was like really big back then, so I was like, what was her diet, and that became a thing. So I learned how to cook through those books in that manner, and I started learning a lot of things like that. So that was another like new way of getting into like nutrition and kind of really being more adamant about what was in my body and how to make food properly and that sort of thing, and portion sizes.
Stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
Life is precious. Truth is, champions never say die. You can keep claiming it's myth while you're out with your pitchfork. You can't deny it, and I can be evident to everyone while you feign your cries. Let it be known as I stand here with open arms, ready to lie your way back home. Take my chances and roll the dice, ready to take that load. Let it be known, this is my life, this is my life. Never regret and I'm letting it go, 'cause I can't go on. As I stand here with open arms, ready to lie your way back home. Take my chances and roll the dice, ready to take that load. Let it be known as I stand here with open arms, ready to rise up from the storm, from the ashes of broken hearts, rising up stronger than before. Let it be known, this is my life, this is my life. Never regret and I'm letting it go, 'cause I can't go on now. Oh, this is my life. Oh, this is my life.
Oh, fair to say, our next live show, she's going to be a very big, very loud show. The band is called 816, 816, all spelled out, all one word, and a relatively new song for them. It's called Let It Be Known. And you're, only 3 weeks away now from seeing them at the Blue Light Studio in beautiful East Vancouver on Friday, June 21st. 816 will headline our next live show. Another Man's Gold will open up the night, and that's Vincent from Owlface. That's his new band. There's no pressure, but I'm expecting this night to be gold, no pun intended. Each band gets a 45-minute set. I interview them for the first maybe 15, 20 minutes while they play songs as well, and you get to ask questions too. So save some money right now. Buy early. It's $20 through eventbrite.ca. Event, B-R-I-T-E, eventbrite.ca. You can gamble and wait for the door as well. It's $25 at that point. We cap the night at 60 people though, so if you want to make sure that you get in, grab a ticket right now. You heard Spendo, and that was their song called Easy to Lie, and they played last year a podcast show, one of the more memorable shows, in fact, and not just because, well, their set was amazing, it was solid, but their drummer went into anaphylactic shock minutes, seconds maybe, before they played the show. Showtime, right? I'm like, hey boys, let's go. And they're like, dude, we got something to tell you. Well, luckily, one of their musicians buddies in the audience was like, they jammed with them before, was like, hey, I'll step up, I'll play percussion for you tonight. And the night was, you would never know, it was seamless. So this time around, though, you can see Spendo at the Red Room here in Vancouver. It's this Saturday, June 1st, Wise Youngblood will open up that night. Sounds great. All right, so coming up in just a few minutes, in Listen to This, AEW wrestler Kyle O'Reilly talking about comic books, or specifically more Marvel versus DC. And personally, it's Marvel by a long shot. They monopolized my time as a kid. Mostly X-Men, Avengers, and Wolverine, Spider-Man, but as always, powered by Tedco RV Supplies out in Langley, into their 8th year sponsoring this podcast. Uninterrupted, might I add. RV service and repairs, ICBC accredited, check, check, check. You can find them online, Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, the second of 3 Toddcast guests this week's our sporting guests, all of whom are powered by Hand Over Hand Textiles in Vancouver. Naturally dyed goods for your home, for your body, bandanas and socks and dishcloths and shirts and scarves and pillows and cases and anything you want done, in fact. You will love their work. It's top notch. Everything you see on that website, handoverhandtextiles.com, is 100% handmade, and they only use pure plant extracts, natural fibers as well. In fact, it's actually good for Mother Earth. Locally owned, locally operated. Handoverhandtextiles.com. They're also kicking around on Instagram. So having lived in Vancouver for most of my life, like little splurts around the province when I was a little kid and for my radio show, a career and stuff, right? But close to 40, I think, of 50 years on this earth have been in this city. And obviously, Vancouver epitomizes healthy living. It's all around you, right? Hiking and biking and skiing, kayaking, golfing, yoga studios, fitness centers. Well, there's an everyday athlete's gym here in Vancouver, and part owner and personal gym trainer Annie Angioli shared her career highlights with us.
I'd say opening the gym for sure has been my career highlight, because that's something that I've been working towards for a long time. Like, I'd say I did 10 years ago, I wrote down like a 5-year, 10-year kind of goal, and the gym was on that piece of paper. I have it somewhere. And I like wrote that down, and I finally got to check that off when we got to open our doors. So that was really exciting for me. But yeah, it's almost time for me to write in a new.
Oh, you always got to continually keep pushing yourself. Set those goals. If you don't have goals, like how are you going to hit them if you don't have them, right? You got to hit goals. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
From a local fitness gym owner to a retired NHL center, Dave Scatchard, who you saw play for the Canucks and Islanders, Coyotes, Predators, the Blues. It was a concussion that took him out of the game, a concussion injury. So listen to Dave talking about scoring a couple hat tricks and leading the Islanders in scoring in one season.
It's all in the book, guys. You gotta read the book.
That book.
Let's see. I had 2 hat tricks in like 2 weeks or something like that. They're on my wall over there. And that was pretty special. One was against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Vinny Lecavalier, Marty St. Louis. And then the other one was against Mario and Jagger. And like, I only played like 12 minutes in one game and 13 minutes in another game. That's no power play or anything. Like that was the year I scored 27. I was up for, I don't know if I won player of the week or player of the month. I was up for the running of player of the month in the NHL, which for a guy like me, that's pretty special because I wasn't a regular occurrence and I didn't really get a ton of ice time. So those 2 hat tricks were like amazing. And that year was amazing with 27 goals. And I love my line with Jason Weimer and Jason Blake. We were just on fire. I think I put in the book that I think after November, we scored the most goals as a third line in the whole league. Blakey had a great year. Weems had a career year. I had my career year. And we were, I don't want to say unstoppable, but we dominated. Like, it wasn't even close.
And we'll pull you from a retired NHLer to one of Canada's best curlers, Canadian National Olympic curler Emma Miskew, 2-time world, 4-time Canadian champ, a member of Team Homan, represented Canada at the 2018 Winter Olympics.
For career highlight in terms of an event or a result, picking one would probably be winning the Olympic trials, because it not only was it's a hard week. It's all these amazing teams. You want to go to the Olympics. The Olympics is this once every 4 years thing. You don't get to do this all the time. That winning that, on top of the fact it was in Ottawa, where I was born and raised, was just the most amazing feeling. It still gives me goosebumps thinking about it. All our friends and family were there watching in person. It was just something I can't even describe how cool that was.
You cried.
Oh yeah. And then a close second would be the Worlds the year before. Winning the gold finally at Worlds would be a close second. That was awesome.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Wrestling fans have known about Kyle O'Reilly for years. You saw him climb the ranks, originally wrestling in the ECCW, currently wrestling with the All Elite Wrestling, AEW. Before that, he was with Ring of Honor from 2009 through 2017. Kyle is a record 3-time NXT Tag Team Champ and a founding member of the Undisputed Era. And when he was a guest, we talked about how he went to GM Place to see the WWE's Rock Bottom. The 2010 Winter Olympics came up and how amazing that was for Vancouver. He talked about Nirvana, Metallica, Bowie, wrestling in New Japan Pro, what he did the night of the Vancouver Canucks fans riot of 2010. We talked about Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Queen, Robert Pattinson's The Batman movie, which spun into Kyle tackling a tough question. Marvel or DC? For me, it's Marvel, for sure. Which way do you go? Listen to this.
Man, I mean, Marvel's just killed it so hard. Obviously, how do you go against them? But like DC's making a comeback. If they are, then starting with this movie. Hey, the Nolan trilogy for Batman was good too. This is just such a different take on it. It's really good.
Yeah, and even the Joker that they
that was unreal.
Phoenix did, man, was like,
yeah,
wow.
Just the acting alone was unreal.
Right,
which is like, something cool that DC's doing, a little more avant-garde, artistic sort of movies, noir-y type. Yeah, like Marvel, it's kind of okay. It's kind of campy and a little bit corny sometimes. So DC's a little more adult.
and it's almost at that like, guys, come on.
I know, right? How many times are you gonna look into the camera and say, "Oh, it sounded better in my head when I said it."
I know, right? Like for me, it's like, man, I'm a huge comic book fan. Like that monopolized most of my time as a little kid, right?
Sure.
And it's like even as a big fan like that, like we're almost borderline too much, almost.
Yeah.
We're in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to see an X-Men make a comeback in a new Wolverine cast. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, that Logan. You've seen Logan, right?
Oh, Logan was amazing.
But
yeah, that might be the best Marvel movie. Yeah,
that's the best Marvel movie for sure.
Yeah.
And I've heard that the Batman's the best DC.
It's kind of Logan-esque, yeah.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. an ICBC approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
When the lights come down.
I cannot wait for our next live show next month. They are Another Man's Gold, and a new song for them, new to the podcast. It's called Night Vision. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's up Vincent Sleeve, the singer of that band, because if you saw his old band, Owlface, well, you know, monstrous players, super catchy riffs. So again, it's on Friday, June 21st at the Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver. Toddcast Podcast, Blue Light Sessions, 816, Another Man's Gold, just $20 right now if you pre-buy through eventbrite.ca. It's going to be a great night. Hope you can make it out. Speaking of live music, there is a list of shows that you should be going to with the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. If you're playing a show, if you're checking it out, if it's indie, let me know about it. I'll put it up at the site. We're literally getting thousands of visitors daily, like 3,000-4,000 every day. So get some free advertising for your show. Hell, throw me a song and I might just end up playing it on a cast as well. Oh, and you heard new music from another Joe. Now here's another band, pun intended, I guess, playing a podcast show. That's a ways out though. That show, but if you want to grab tickets right now, because tickets are on sale, that show's not till July 26th. It's Another Joe and Total Shock. That's going to be a great show. Talking about a great punk rock show at Blue Light Studio. All right. So let's get back to career highlights, though, and some thoughts from entertainment and lifestyle guests, all of whom are powered by Humane Solutions, pet proofing your house, your business. I had rats getting into my house in between the main floor and the basement ceiling. And, you know, initially I made the mistake of using what I thought was like the big name in the city and using another a company initially. And then I wised up once I talked to a buddy that had used Humane Solutions for a problem that he was having. Well, now with hindsight, it's also clear. So they come to your place and they close up all the entry points to wherever the rodents are getting in. Then they install the one-way door so that they can get out, but they can't get back in. Believe me, when your wife is chirping you to get her done, you want to get her done as fast as you can. Houses, your place of business, as mentioned, whatever. So grab a quote today through humanesolutions.ca. So if you follow this podcast, no doubt you know that I used to work in radio. Right off the top, I mentioned the career highlights and everything else. A long time 99.3 The Fox, Vancouver DJ, right? It was their afternoon show, literally from 3 till 7 for all of my 30s. Close to 12 years doing it, as mentioned, right? I did their evening show. I did their overnight show. At the very start, I did a morning show for them as well with their current host, Jeff O'Neill, and Biff Naked joined us too. If you know Biff, you know that was a crazy, fun dynamic to add to a couple dudes, essentially, right? Me and Jeff. Anyway, radio holds power, quite literally, and through the stories that you hear, the music that's played, the news that is shared. And one of the best, I think, one of the best in the biz is Canadian radio broadcaster Stu Jeffries, who you'll know from Good Rockin' Tonight back in the day, right? CBC, it's Friday nights, right before, I think it was Friday Night Videos. Well, Stu shared the story of interviewing the Beatles, Paul McCartney, and Dire Straits' Mark Knopfler.
The highlight in terms of an interview or interviews, I would pick two because they're so close to my heart. Paul McCartney and Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. So they're two people that they're my wow guys. Yeah. And so to be able to talk to those two was amazing. And of course, now this is obviously way before smartphones and stuff. So when you got a picture, that picture was worth like a million words, right? And I got both because I never asked anybody I ever interviewed. I never asked for a picture, and it was only Paul and it was only Mark Knopfler. And so those are two that still are on my wall of fame, that I'll always cherish. And they both ended up being wonderful people. McCartney, I will never forget. My producer Ken Gibson and I are in my hotel room hours before the interview, and we're going over questions. And he said, well, obviously we're going to have to talk about the Beatles. And I remember thinking, going, like, he's talked about that all his entire life. Like, yeah, really? Like, are we really going to go there? And he said, well, God, like, I mean, you got to. I mean, he's a Beatle. And we were like, yeah, okay. And so we were coming up with questions that we might ask. And whatever my first question was, I can't remember. He answered the question and then took me through the entire cycle of him getting into music, him meeting John, the Beatles, the whole thing in like this most gorgeous minute and a half soundbite. And I remember thinking, of course, he's done it so many times. I mean, this is how he executes it, right? And I thought I just had I respected him then, but I respected him even more for his answer and for him to appreciate that we all love him because of what he's done before and what he's done now. And it was great. And Mark Knopfler, for the lowest key guy ever, had the greatest sense of humor. And, he was put in, not like one-liners, but just the way he'd answer the questions were very tongue-in-cheek. And you could tell he's got a little smirk while he's answering. And I'm thinking, I never pegged you for that guy. I pegged you for a serious musician guitar guy. But clearly he liked to have a little fun. And we both kind of wore, for this picture we got, we both kind of had the same sort of outfit on, a jacket and a black t-shirt underneath. He had a blue and I had a red, and he was commenting on that. And simple things, but those are the things that are like super near to my heart for interviews.
From an iconic Canadian radio broadcaster to Jacqueline Fae, who you'll know as the CEO and the founder of I Deserve Love. She's the author of several books. She is the fairy matchmaker, celebrity matchmaker, and love expert.
Good question. I mean, for Valentine's Day, I was on the news a couple times. I was on CBS talking about Valentine's Day. I was also on Newsmax talking about Valentine's Day. So I guess maybe that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what are you talking about Valentine's Day on those types of shows? Like, is it like the presents to get and how to set the romantic mood sort of thing?
Yeah. I also do a lot of like manifestation work. So I was talking about like, how do you manifest a partner into your life? How do you make that happen? So that was definitely a big thing. And on Valentine's Day, what's the right thing to do? Because I think a lot of people have all these expectations that it has to be perfect, and it doesn't, especially like when you're in a new relationship.
Right. And I think also the same goes with the long relationships. Like, I've been with my wife now for 20 some years, and if I don't do anything at all, of course that's bad, but if I go overboard, that's probably not very good either.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think going overboard is that bad, but
maybe not that bad, but certainly
it can be bad. Like, I feel like in a new relationship, it can be bad because it sets the precedent. Like,
right. Here's the bar, and you got to get to it every time. Like, it's too much, but dude, you don't need to take her to Mexico and then, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much.
Exactly. If you do that and then you buy her some expensive jewelry and you do all this and you've been dating for a week, then like, oh, what are you going to do for her birthday? What are you going to do? Like, it's like
Christmas is coming too.
You gotta,
hey,
like, step it up all the time. So you want to like get there with your relationship, let it grow.
Yeah, we'll take you from a celebrity matchmaker, author, and CEO to an actor who you'll best know from his roles in The Walking Dead and Underground, Theodus Crane.
My career highlight thus far, honestly, was Underground.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't had a more challenging or rewarding job, and the feeling that I had leaving that, like, it was of actual accomplishment. I felt like I'd done something I'd never done before, and it was with people who I was thankful to be around, who were just supportive and in their own regard, just, beasts, just going at it, man. Everybody was there to push everybody else and to make everybody there the best they could be, and to really put out a great product. And so whatever happens with it, I'm proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tough thing to say. I used to hate watching myself. Like, the only reason I actually would have watched myself is like to put my materials together, my reel and all that stuff. And I just didn't like it. But this, like, I was ready for that trailer to drop, man. When am I going to see it? Am I in it? How much am I in it? What am I going to be doing? What do you got me doing? I've not really had that kind of anticipation for something that I was in before. Most times I don't tell people I'm going to be in something. I'll wait, I'll wait for it to come out on Netflix or DVD or whatever. I'm kind of a jerk in that way, but this one, it's like, no, you need to see this. This is going to come out. When's it come out? I don't know yet, but when I know, you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
This yes, it's coming. Just be ready.
Red Truck Beer, delivered fresh, the official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
She just smiled and turned away and disappeared like smoke. Like the flame she returned again, and the bright lights pulled me close. I could tell there was no love in her eyes, wouldn't let her burn me this time. I hope I meet her again someday, cross paths somehow, some way. I walked away with legs full of lead, she filled my soul with red.
Digging the sound of that one. They are called Theodus, T-A-Y-O-S, and a new song for them, new to the podcast, Red Soul. And on Friday, this coming Friday, you can see them in Chilliwack here in the Lower Mainland. They're doing a fundraiser show. They're about to do the big tour. It's out at the Bricklayer Brewing. Again, it's on Friday, this Friday in Chilliwack. Doors are at 7 o'clock. Music's at 8. And it's only $15. Come on. Next podcast, you will hear first concert stories from 9 guests. He's not a guest next podcast. So listen to the Ramones' bassist, CJ Ramone's story.
Oh, Lord.
It's going back, right?
I remember I think the first concert I ever went to, actually, out on Long Island in New York where I live, there's 2 big horse racing tracks, and my uncle was a guard, excuse me, at both of them. And they used to do, summer concert series in the park.
Oh, cool.
And I think the first one I ever saw was, I want to say it was Mickey Gilley and somebody else really good. I can't remember, but that's probably the very first concert.
I don't know what it is. I love hearing people's first concert stories, and that is up next. Mine was Dr. Hook on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Of course, big thanks to this week's guests before we wrap things up this week, talking about career highlights and some real doozies, right? I mean, I guess that kind of happens when you start taking into consideration what these people do, the rock stars and Olympians and famous actors. I do appreciate them humoring us and letting us continue to shine a light on them long after the fact that they were a guest. And with that, let's put this one down. Episode 334, it's officially in the books. Once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends about us. It is a big way in which we grow. We are part of the Realm.fm network. Tons of nonfiction and fiction podcasts. Super cool network based out of New York City. Worldwide distribution. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone, YouTube. Comment and rate the podcast. It helps out big time. It really does. Search us out through Toddcast Podcast. A huge thanks to all of our excellent sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you would like to sponsor the podcast with your business, you can for as little as $10 a day. No doubt, right? Contact info is at the homepage. And as always, if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission. Quite literally, message us anytime on social media, all right? Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard. Most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
What if I told you you only have 12 hours to legally have sex?
To finding true love, or just like a good guy.
From the director of Easy A and Anyone But You.
This whole thing is nuts.
There's nothing traditional about this night.
On August 7th, the clock starts on the summer's biggest rom-com.
I'm Owen.
Allie.
What about you and me?
Monica Barbaro, Callum Turner.
I've been told I'm a 7.
By who? Your mom?
Nah, she thinks I'm a 10.
One night only. Rated R. Only in theaters August 7th.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Goodbye, Kyle! Did the sound of those words call to you like Pavlov's dog? Then you might enjoy our podcast, Turtle Time.
Every week, you can join me, Riley Hamilton, and my co-host, Amy Scarlatta, as we cover the most pressing Bravo news and dig into the new episodes to answer important questions like, who the hell is Adrian Malouf in this world?
Listen to Turtle Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday.